Angola is considered one of the countries with the biggest potential in Africa, but it is going through a harsh economic crisis. The successor of the former president José Eduardo dos Santos, who was in power for 38 years, is João Lourenço, the former defense minister. France was the country he chose to make his first state visit in Europe upon assuming office, and it was in Toulouse where we met with President João Lourenço. Mr. President, welcome to Euronews. Why France?
Because France is an important country for Angola. With this visit, we seek to strengthen the bonds of friendship that are historic with this country. We met Emmanuel Macron, and here we had the opportunity to interact with, well, initially we thought that there would be about 80 French entrepreneurs, but we were surprised, because they ended up being around 150 businessmen, eager to learn about the new situation in Angola, the new environment for business that we are creating in the country.
Precisely, in economic terms, what steps have you taken? What steps do you intend to take to encourage investments in Angola?
Foreign private investors no longer have the obligation to team up with any Angolan local partner in order to do business. But they can if they choose to. In terms of visas for businessmen going to Angola, we've created a framework of great facilitation and, in some cases, a model of visa-free travel for ordinary passports. On the other hand, we're very committed to removing a major obstacle to doing business in Angola, which is the so-called phenomenon of corruption. So this is a struggle that's difficult, it will take some time, but we are prepared to face this giant problem of corruption, and we're sure that we will win.
João Lourenço is very popular in Angola, but there is also a lot of skepticism. Mr. President, you have shaken some of the entrenched interests in the country. For example, you removed from key sectors family members of the former President José Eduardo dos Santos. It is just a change of chairs, or are we going to have deep reforms and a change of attitudes?
It's not a mere dance of chairs. We always make changes in the hope of achieving better results. I did not remove children of a former president. I removed Angolan citizens. They are Angolan citizens who are subject as much as any others are to the same rules. In these 8 months, more than 2 people were dismissed.
Nesses 8 meses, não foram exoneradas apenas 2 pessoas.
The journalist and activist Rafael Marques says that it is more of the same and that there are indications of less correct practices around you by people linked to your government.
Yes, but what are those indications?
They are related to the use of the sovereign fund for the acquisition of airplanes.
In fact, we're doing the opposite. We're hunting for these resources. We're in the process of trying to recover these same resources. What we do know is that we have less than the initial value, which was $5 billion. But we have an idea of where these resources are. In Mauritius, in England, and in other corners of the planet. The normal course of action would be in the processing of the handover from one board to another. The previous board of directors should have opened up about it transparently and said where those resources are. This did not happen. Or if it happened, it was not convincing. And this company or consortium between the TAG flag company and some private companies will not exist. It will not happen. If it does happen, I hope the passengers will call me and say, look, you told Euronews that there was no consortium. But today, I flew on one of the planes. that Mr. So-and-so talked about.
Não existia consórcio nenhum, mas eu hoje viajei em dos aviões do consórcio do que o senhor fulano tal falou.
Recently, Human Rights Watch has written an open letter asking for an improvement in certain human rights violations. Are you going to work on that?
A violação dos direitos humanos vai trabalhar nisso?
Vamos evitar, vamos trabalhar.
We are working to ensure that human rights violations will not happen. In the 8 months of my rule, I do not know if there are any cases.
Não sei se existem casos.
But will you be watching?
Of course I will be. I will be careful in order to prevent this from happening.
Do you have any projects to help strengthen the cooperation between the Portuguese-speaking countries, or is it the French-speaking ones that interest you?
Interessam todas.
They're all interesting. As with the case of Mozambique, which is surrounded by English-speaking countries, Malawi, Tanzania and South Africa itself, it eventually joined the Commonwealth. Angola is also surrounded, not by Portuguese-speaking countries, but by French-speaking and English-speaking countries. Therefore, let us not be surprised that we are thinking of now asking to join the Francophonie and maybe the Commonwealth later.
In France, you sign agreements in the defense sector. Can you give us more details about these agreements?
Well, the agreements as a rule are general agreements, agreements that give the possibility of doing something. After that, you have to examine concrete projects, one by one. There's the possibility of cooperating in the training of our military officers in all branches. There's the possibility of cooperating in terms of maritime surveillance, especially in the Gulf of Guinea, to prevent a kind of Somalia scenario from happening someday, with pirates.
Evitar que algum dia possa vir a acontecer o que se passa ali nas costas da Somália.
The scenario of the Democratic Republic of Congo was discussed. These defense agreements, are they to be related as well, since there is a large border between the two countries?
A República Democrática do Congo.
You know that an agreement was signed between the Congolese government and the opposition.
Quilómetros de fronteira com Angola. Só por esta razão é do interesse de Angola que haja estabilidade no país vizinho.
That agreement obliges the executive above all to organize free elections in the DRC.
Obriga, digamos, sobretudo o executivo, a organizar eleições livres na República Democrática do Congo.
And that the current president of the Republic will not present himself as a candidate.
Do atual presidente da República. Tudo quanto queremos é que esse acordo seja cumprido.
All we want is that this agreement is fulfilled, because we understand that failure to do so can lead to political and social turmoil, which will not be very pleasant for the Congolese people and for the neighbours themselves, and we're one of them. We're talking regularly with President Joseph Kabila, so we're available to continue to advise him, that's all. It's just advice.
But if the agreement fails and the country plunges into great instability, will Angola and its partners have all the scenarios open? I mean, all options open?
Todas as opções em aberto, digamos assim.
Eu sei onde quero chegar.
I know where you're going with this, but I will not give you that pleasure. Even to talk about it. It's a lot of speculation. If we say we want stability, then whatever we do will be in the interest of stability for all.
What is your vision for Africa? Opportunities and challenges.
O afropessimismo não tem razão.
Afro-pessimism has no reason to exist. No matter how low we are, we always have the right and the obligation to dream big. To think that mainly with our work, and not only, but also with international cooperation, that's why we're here. And someday we'll be in Lisbon. Our continent will flourish.
Daí a razão da gente estar aqui e algum dia estaremos em Lisboa. O nosso continente vai florescer.
Sr. Presidente, muito obrigado. Foi uma honra tê-lo connosco e Até breve.
Ok, muito obrigado.
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado.